What is going on, dudes? It's Deadbolt here, bringing you some more SCP reactions, and today we got SCP-1550, Dr. Wondertainment's Custom Pets. I'm familiar with Dr. Wondertainment. I know it's like a company in the SCP universe, and they like create other SCP items. Honestly, they usually have like the best stories. Like they're usually the ones where like people, like random people around the world find, you know, some people weaponize them. Some are just wild. Like, didn't they make the bike that like increases damage depending on how hard you fall or something like that, or little? I forgot, but I know they create a lot of wild and wacky stuff, and like some of it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that's a thing, and others are like, why? Why is that a thing? But I have no idea what this one is. This one's by Dr. Bob, by the way, so be sure to subscribe to his channel. It's been a while since I've reacted to a Dr. Bob video, so I'm excited to see what he's got today, and let's get into it.
It's the last day of 6th grade, and there are only seconds left before the final bell rings and school is officially out for summer.
I remember those days.
An 11-year-old girl sits at her desk, bouncing her legs
creepy.
in anticipation and watching the clock.
That reminds me of Midoriya.
3 glorious months of freedom. But more importantly, she can take her mom up on a life-changing promise. They made a deal when they moved to this new town. If she could get through 6th grade with straight A's and good feedback from her teachers, she could finally get a pet of her own. There were some stipulations, of course. The pet can't be too big, can't make a lot of noise, and needs to be something she can take care of by herself.
A snake. Just make mom completely regret that decision. Get a ball python. Things are easy to take care of. Just feed them like once a week, maybe. Sometimes once every 2 weeks. Sometimes they don't even want to eat for like months, dude. But like, don't just not feed your ball python for months. Just always offer them food. But like sometimes they just won't eat. But that's what I would do if I was this girl, honestly. My mom hates snakes, but I'd be like, snake, I got straight A's, bro. Come on. I think after elementary school, I never got straight A's again, bro. It's crazy. I mean, college doesn't really count because I only take like 2 classes a semester, so that's not straight A's. Getting 2 A's doesn't count, but getting straight A's is a big accomplishment in my opinion when it comes to like middle school and high school. So that's deserving of a snake. Any pet she wants, which I believe she should get a snake, but it's probably going to be something wacky.
It was hard work, but she buckled down, studied hard, and even found a math tutor.
You look creepy.
Time is now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The last bell of the year rings, and the class erupts into cheers. Summer's here. She shoves
Jesus
her books
Christ.
into her bag and runs out the door so quickly, she barely catches her teacher's parting words of, "Have a great summer vacation, everyone."
Nobody gives a fuck.
Swamped. The girl lets her mind wander. What kind of pet should she get? A dog needs to be walked. That might be too much work. A fish? Maybe, but you can't play with a fish. You can't pet a fish, or at least it won't be happy if you try. She remembers a pet tarantula her eccentric aunt once had and shudders. No spiders, definitely not. She wants something friendly, something
Get a beagle.
small enough that her mom
I
won't
love
complain,
beagles.
but something she can cuddle and really bond with. Whatever it ends up being, she's going to take great care of it. The walk feels much longer than it is, the anticipation stretching the minutes until they feel like hours. She spots the sign in the shape of a dog playing with a ball, and her heart skips a beat. She's reached the pet store. Inside,
wait, so she's going by
there are
herself?
An overwhelming number of options. She walks through the reptile section, pressing her face to the class of tanks housing iguanas, slithery snakes, tiny darting lizards with brightly colored tails. Nearby, there are fat green tree frogs and bumpy toads with huge watery eyes. She briefly pauses at the fish, enticed by their vivid colors and
she just went through the reptile section.
Shapes and sizes. But a fish
People
is
sleep
such a
on
boring
reptiles,
pet, she
man.
thinks. What can you even do with a fish? She moves on, looking at a litter of fluffy tabby kittens.
What the
They romp
hell?
and roll around on top of
They
each
don't
other,
look right.
flicking their tails and stretching
Why do they
their
look
soft
homeless?
paws. They're adorable, and her heart melts. But then she thinks about having to scoop a litter box and decides to move on.
That's not even hard.
There are
Oh my
roly-poly
god.
hamsters and sleek-looking rats, tiny white mice with pink eyes and gerbils running on wheels. Suddenly, a sign catches her eye. Exotic pets, it reads.
What?
What could be over there?
Well, weren't the reptiles there?
Tiptoes into the section, almost feeling like she's stumbled into somewhere she shouldn't be. There are ferrets wiggling around and
A
playing with
ferret?
a ball.
That's not
Fluffy
exotic.
chinchillas that look impossibly plush and soft to the touch. Little sugar gliders peeking out of cloth pouches with wide eyes.
Nah,
There's even a skunk blinking at her curiosity.
I heard those are hard to take care of.
Nothing feels quite right. None of these pets seem like the one she has to bring home. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she spots something curious. A row of small cardboard packages
What the
covered
hell?
with inviting cartoonish text, advertising something called a custom pet. She picks up one of the packages
That's
and reads
interesting.
the description. It sounds impossible, too good to be true. Just buy these packaged eggs, place them anywhere in your house, and a perfectly matched pet will hatch and fit right in. It will become exactly the kind of pet that you need. She looks for any
That's
sort
pretty
of fine
interesting.
print, something that might indicate this is a toy or some kind of joke, but it looks real. Could it be? Shyly, the girl takes one of the packages up to the cash register. The employee goes to scan it, but there's no barcode. Did you bring this in with you? The cashier asks. She shakes her head. Okay, well, we don't sell these, so I guess you can just take it?
Tuh.
The girl's eyes go wide.
Yeah, I like the
Really?
question mark at
She
the
can
end of
just
that.
Have it for free?
I
The
guess. I
cashier is
mean,
already waving her off, beckoning the next customer to come check out. Not wanting to question her good luck,
I'll get like
takes off
5
without a
then.
second
Fuck it.
thought. The run home from the pet store is a total blur of excitement. All she wants to do is get inside, make a peanut butter sandwich, and figure out where to put her new pet's
Just
egg
peanut butter?
before her
What the
mom gets
fuck?
home from
That's
work.
weird.
Not that she's doing anything wrong. It's just easier if she takes care of things before her mom can ask too many questions. Forget the sandwich. The sandwich can wait. She needs to get upstairs to her room right now and start her life with her new pet.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
She throws
Jesus
her backpack
Christ.
on her bed and sits down on the floor.
Why is she
tearing
like
open
this?
The cardboard packaging. Inside, there are 6 tiny eggs sealed in
Damn,
plastic.
okay.
She
You
just
already
wants
get a
one
bunch?
pet, so she'll start with 1 egg for now. Of course, if the pet ends up being lonely, maybe it'll want a friend.
Oh my
She
god.
shakes off the thought. She can figure all of those details out later. She's just about to puncture the plastic so the egg can breathe when she stops. Where should she put it? Then
Just
she spots a
put it on the
potential
floor or
solution.
something.
An old dollhouse, frilly and pastel
Oh,
pink
no.
and surprisingly spacious inside, sits next to her bed. She hasn't played with dolls in a while, insisting she was too old for them when she started 6th grade. But now, she's thrilled that she didn't get rid of her dollhouse just yet. Even if the dolls don't live there anymore, maybe now it can be a home for something new, for whatever hatches out of this strange little egg. Carefully, she breaks the plastic seal on the egg and places it inside the dollhouse. All of the doll furniture and little plastic choking hazards are gone, leaving only a pretty pink Victorian-style enclosure where the egg can safely hatch. Now, all she has to do is wait.
This is sus.
Later that night, the girl wakes from a deep sleep to the sound of something moving inside the dollhouse. The skitter of tiny legs, the rustling of something inside the formerly vacant dollhouse. What if it's a spider or a worm or some other awful, monstrous thing she can't even imagine? And she brought it into her home, to where she and her mom sleep without even questioning it.
See, that's why you don't put it behind something that you can't see through. That's why you have an egg like that you don't know what it's going to turn into. Put it in a clear case so that you can see what it's turning into. If it's in a little box or something, then you're just going to be surprised when you open it. But I'm curious to see how this ends up. In my head, I'm thinking maybe, like it said, it turns into whatever you need. I wonder if like it takes your entire life into account and where you like where your state of mind is, and like it makes a pet based on that, and also like what you're able to provide. And I also wonder if you can get scammed. Like, what if you're like dirt poor, and you just have you have, what is it? Commitment issues. So because of that, you hatch the egg, and it's just like a pet rock. That would be amazing. But also, I guess you can't really get scammed because it was free. So, you know.
She sits for a moment, the only sound the rustling of the thing in the dollhouse and her own short, panicked breaths. Then there's another sound, light and sweet, like a little bird chirping. It's coming from the dollhouse. Curiosity finally gets the better of her, and she opens the dollhouse.
What
lifting
the
roof
hell?
off. Inside, she spots it. Her new pet. Feathery soft fur, pastel pink and white, covers the little animal, which is currently
What is it?
exploring its new home delightedly. It flicks around a pretty little tail that looks
okay.
a bit like a lavender feather duster, and stops to blink up at her with 2 large, friendly purple eyes. Slowly, she reaches a hand down to pet the animal, and it nuzzles into her
Aw.
palm, body vibrating with something like a kitten's purr. Any tension she felt before melts out of her body as she realizes the packaging was not lying. She put the pet in an environment that was comforting, sweet, happy, a piece of childlike joy, and it had become the living embodiment of those things.
What if it
For a
dies
brief
soon,
moment,
though?
She wonders how she'll explain this new addition to the household.
That's why it came
what
with
she'll
so
need to
many?
feed it, and what her mom will say. But then her new best friend chirps happily again, and all she can think is, this is going to be an amazing summer. Things worked out very well for the girl. Meanwhile, other families across town were screaming in horror as a tiny fire-breathing creature set their drapes ablaze, and another slowly dropped down from the ceiling on a silvery thread, blending into the shadows. This girl was not the only child to bring home one of these miraculous pets and hatch it in her home.
I kind of thought they were going to pull the rug out from under her, and turns out that that's just in her head. But if these shits are real, these are dangerous. It's not in their heads. Oh man, somebody has a freaking dragon. That's actually pretty cool. Leave in the comments what you would want to get from this egg. What kind of pet would you want? Could be fake, or not fake, I guess mystical, you know, a creature of fiction, real life. I would probably want a friendly anaconda that eats, like, I don't know, vegetables or something. I don't know, just something, because I heard like that's the only thing about like having like those really big snakes is that you have to feed them like chickens and stuff, and those can get pretty pricey. But and the reason it's friendly is because I also have dogs and stuff, and I've heard plenty of stories of big snakes eating, you know, dogs and stuff, and I don't want that to happen. That's why I don't have big snakes. But still, in this fictitious scenario, it would be a friendly anaconda that eats friggin' vegetables, and it has a smile on his face and would never harm a soul.
And other children were much less careful about where they put the eggs. Of course, the children weren't to blame here. The blame lay with whoever was behind the design and widespread release of these odd little animals, also known as SCP-1550. SCP-1550 is a species of artificially synthesized creatures of unknown classification who are highly adaptable to—
Hey, you're from fucking, what's it called? You're from that Nickelodeon show. Hold on. What is it called? Yeah, this little dude, Real Monsters. Oh my god. He just, oh wait, hold on. Does he have the purple lips? No, he doesn't. But that's exactly him though. Like you can't deny that. That's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, this one looks familiar too, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. There's a lot of just blobs with eyes in media. I feel that's a pretty like standard monster like design.
any given environment. Their larvae will develop, grow, and change to fit whatever setting their eggs are placed in. Though adult specimens vary greatly in appearance, they all have markings on their underbelly that read, a Dr. Wondertainment trademark. Because of their highly adaptable nature, it is uncertain exactly what the original form of these creatures might look like. SCP-1550 eggs are 1 centimeter long, beige in color, and stored in airtight plastic packaging that prevents them from hatching until they are exposed to the outside air. The SCP Foundation first discovered SCP-1550 after a collection of bizarre cardboard packages were found in the exotic pet section of a pet store. None of the workers had ever seen these packages
Just
before,
like, what the
and had
fuck?
never even heard of SCP-1550 prior to being asked about it. The packages were brought into containment immediately and were found to each contain 6 SCP-1550 eggs in airtight
Hatch a few.
containers.
Come on, SCP
The original
Foundation.
packaging also contained an
You
instruction
gots to.
leaflet, which I've managed to get my hands on a copy of. It reads, "Hey kids, your parents aren't letting you get a dog or cat? Don't fret, buy a Dr. Wondertainment custom pet. A Dr. Wondertainment's custom pet is far superior to an ordinary and boring cat or dog due to their original Adapto Eggs packaging, a Dr. Wondertainment invention. Just leave your custom pet Adapto Eggs around the house, and when they hatch, they'll fit right in. Perfect for apartments. To get your very own custom pets is easy, kids. Just put an egg in your house and break the plastic seal to give your new pet some air so it can hatch. Your new pet will be perfect for where you live, wherever you live. If your new custom pet seems lonely, just add another Adapto egg and get him a new friend. Dr. Wondertainment is not responsible for injuries or death caused by this or any other product. Wondertainment custom pets are shipped out prefixed." Who exactly is this Dr. Wondertainment?
But
A
how did
person?
you get
A
freaking
corporation?
dragons and
A
stuff
highly
then?
intelligent octopus with a penchant for toy design? The identity of the force behind the trademark is undetermined, but whatever Dr. Wondertainment is, one thing is certain. The toys they create are highly unusual. Dozens of Wondertainment's creations have been contained by the SCP Foundation, including SCP-2855,
Ooh.
SCP-2396,
Who are they?
and SCP-111.
Oh, bro.
They range from useful to whimsical to downright destructive, and the motives behind each invention are currently unknown. SCP-1550 is just one in a long line of anomalous toys from the shadowy toymaker. And so, like they have with so many other Wondertainment products, the research staff at the Foundation decided to perform some exploratory tests on these supposed custom pets.
What are they gonna make?
First, one SCP-1550 egg was placed in a
Oh,
tank
this is
of
cool.
seawater and left to hatch. When it did, it produced a specimen with gills all along its upper back behind its
that's
eyes,
cool.
an array of flat and broad tails it could use to swim efficiently. Further examination of the creature revealed that it excreted special mucus to protect its eyes from the salt water, and a swim bladder that was discovered during dissection.
Oh, you guys killed it, you bastards.
Was a mottled blue, giving it natural camouflage in its seawater environment. Next, the team decided to place an egg in fresh water and see what different adaptations were produced. A tank was filled with water from a river behind the testing site, and the egg was placed inside until it hatched. Interestingly, this specimen of SCP-1550 did not possess any gills, suggesting similar
What?
circumstances would not necessarily produce the same adaptations. Instead, this specimen had enlarged lungs and a thin, streamlined body for more efficient movement.
So it's like a whale.
The team prepared a terrarium meant to simulate the ecosystem of a temperate forest and placed the next egg inside. When it hatched, it produced a specimen of SCP-1550 covered in a layer of brown fur, with a ridged underbelly resembling that
What the
of a
hell is up
snake.
with that tail?
It also had a tail consisting of large tentacles. Along the ridged underbelly, there was a smooth patch of skin with the Dr. Wondertainment logo printed, like a tattoo. The team prepared a different terrarium that simulated a desert ecosystem and allowed an egg to hatch inside.
Sand
The
shark?
resulting specimen was
Oh,
cold-blooded, tan in color to blend in with the sand, and skilled at burrowing quickly to protect itself from outside
Cold-blooded?
stressors. It was also, notably, 1 centimeter larger than the previous specimens. The final terrarium was made to simulate the environment of an average urban apartment.
so do they
The
just
egg that
get
hatched
bigger?
Inside produced a creature with leathery skin and eyes placed similarly to those of a chameleon. The demeanor of the specimen was noticeably friendlier than its predecessors, and it acted more like a domesticated house pet than a wild animal. Its most impressive adaptation was its method of eating. Behind the specimen's jaw, there were strands of baleen like those found in whales, which allowed the creature to filter feed on dust and crumbs from the terrarium floor.
Dude,
After these experiments proved
that's so cool. You don't even need to take care of these things. And also, I found it interesting that that sand one was cold-blooded, even though it looked like a mammal. So, like, I know it was already creating new hybrid animals and just like new animals in general. It's making animals that aren't usually cold-blooded is pretty wild, and it's giving these characteristics of whales to this little lizard, and now it's eating like pretty much like a plant. Like, you know, it's eating microscopic animals now. If it wasn't for the fact that it could also create dragons and like dangerous animals, this would be an amazing like creation to have your own pet that you don't really need to take care of. Like, you want, I get it, like some people, they're like too busy, but like you still want the companionship. But like, this would be amazing. Oh my god.
successful, the research team decided to test the eggs in more extreme environments. One egg was placed in a vat of molten iron. It promptly burst into flames and was completely destroyed. The head researcher responded, "Well, what did you expect to happen?" Which seems like a fair point. The next egg was placed inside a vacuum chamber, which was then depressurized.
Let me guess, that's not going to work, because it said that it needed to be exposed to air in order to hatch. And if it's in a vacuum, that means there's no air, so it's not going to hatch. And also, it might just explode because of the vacuum. Here, let me see.
The egg promptly exploded, covering the inside of the chamber in an unidentifiable slime.
See, I know a little thing or two about science and stuff.
These two less than successful experiments led the research team to the conclusion that SCP-1550 eggs cannot survive in conditions that would be uninhabitable for any other animal. There are limits to the creature's adaptability, but what would happen to an egg placed in a hostile environment filled with something recognizable? A vacuum chamber was filled with seawater, and an egg was placed inside. The chamber was then pressurized to 15,750 psi. This time, the egg was not destroyed, but instead was able to successfully hatch. The resulting SCP-1550
oh my
specimen
God.
bore a heavy resemblance to several deep-sea creatures, most notably the anglerfish. Like the anglerfish, the creature had a bioluminescent lure dangling from its forehead. It also had gills, dark gray-blue skin, flat and webbed fins, and enlarged eyes twice the size of those found on other specimens. Its teeth were sharp and ridged, similar to those of a shark. The head researcher made a note on this portion of the experiment log, asking, just what kind of child Dr. Wondertainment is trying to sell these things to that they could live in conditions where a creature like that could be kept as a pet. All adult specimens of SCP-1550 are kept in a sealed 5 meter by 5 meter terrarium, which simulates desert conditions. This terrarium is monitored via electronic surveillance, and each of the specimens is implanted with a tracking device. If one or more of the specimens escapes, the area is locked down until all of the creatures have been captured and placed back in their terrarium. All SCP-1550 eggs are kept in their packaging unless being used for testing. As the Foundation does not want the population
I want more
of adult
testing,
specimens
man.
to exceed 20 at any given time, excess specimens are terminated.
No.
Honestly, that makes me a little sad. I'd be happy to take them in if the research team can't keep them. But I digress. Having a pet is a big responsibility, and some people just can't handle the risks and rewards that come with caring for an animal, especially one that can become an accidental weapon if you're not careful. If your child is begging you for a pet, maybe you should start them out with a goldfish first. A goldfish never burnt the house down, though I suppose there's a first time for everything. I hope you enjoyed this anomaly, which was recommended by Dr. Bob Squad researcher, the Be Quick. If you want to assist in recommending and choosing future anomalies to be analyzed, you too can join the Dr. Bob Squad by going to patreon.com/drbob. Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob,
looks cool.
SCP-693, Naughty Stalker, for more looks inside the nightmarish toy box of the SCP Foundation.
Hey,
Make sure you
it's
subscribe
Pepe.
and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single anomaly as we delve further and further into the SCP Foundation's classified archives.
I want a pet meme. I want SpongeGar. Can he be my pet? Dude, this was a great episode or a freaking video. I kind of wish they would have gone over the lifetime that they lived to, because like they just said, oh yeah, they can adapt to almost anything, you know, that they adapt to the conditions that they're hatched in, and that's about it. And then they killed them. They should have one specifically for that reason, just to see like what their max lifespan is, or maybe like a few, like 5 of different species, like, or of different conditions. I don't know, wherever you hatch them, just to see if like their lifespan varies depending on which terrain, which environment that you hatch them in. I think that would be a cool experiment. But this was still great. This is my favorite, this little guy. I love lizards. I love lizards, and I love that he can just eat dust. That's crazy. Oh my god, and he looks so cute. They should have tried to hatch the dragon. I want to know what circumstances, what environment had to be replicated. Like, what kid was like, all right, I'm gonna put you in the oven, and then the dragon came out. Like, what happened? How did that come to be? I was pretty surprised by this one, because this one just looks like an anglerfish. Like, I guess the teeth are bigger, and I guess it is bigger, like, in and of itself. But I'm surprised it looks... This is the only animal that was hatched in this whole thing that looks semi like a real animal. But this was a very good video. I think this is like one of my favorite Dr. Bob videos, and this is probably one of my favorite SCPs now. Like, I mean, Dr. Wondertainment was always up there, but like, just the custom pets, like you could really let your imagination run wild with this one. Like, what, you don't know what could happen or what you can get, you know, and I think that's cool. But be sure to subscribe to Dr. Bob. He's at 1 million now. I don't know if he was last time I checked, but hey, look at that. Congratulations. Let's get him to 2 million. Come on. We can do it. But alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you had a greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease. Bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space.